Hello YouTubers, this is Cessnaace back again with another video. A mystery unpacking video, in fact the first one for 2015. I had originally intended to do another video in the series of videos that I've been doing showing my NES game collection. However, I received in the mail today a package. I'll go ahead and tell you two things about the contents of this package. First of all, it contained two complete in-box games. And second of all, you probably noticed that I used the past tense there because this is not the first take. As I've no doubt mentioned ad nauseum in the past, I have a neurological condition which causes tremors, and sometimes objects have a tendency to inadvertently fly out of my hands. So I had to do another take. Enough said about that. Okay, the two games in front of me, as I mentioned, complete in box, and they are for the Commodore 64. Now, a number of years ago, an uncle of mine, my Uncle David, gave me two complete in-box Commodore 64s. A Commodore 64 floppy disk drive, a Commodore color monitor, big box of controllers and joysticks compatible with the Commodore and Atari lines of microcomputers, and a huge collection of magazines devoted to those two lines, mostly Commodore, but some Atari. Well, I have since then been slowly building my Commodore 64 game collection. I have one of those Commodores still in its original box, but the other one is set up in another room. Okay, the games for the Commodore 64 is probably the best supported microcomputer ever released. Certainly better supported than any console released. There are an estimated 12,000 releases for the Commodore 64. I'm talking about just games now. But it's hard to estimate because the system was so popular both in the US and on the other side of the Atlantic as well. And the homebrewing community is active with the Commodore 64. So the 12,000 estimate going up all the time. The Wikipedia page devoted to games for the Commodore 64 is actually 2 pages because they split it in half. The list was so large. The first page is devoted to titles that start with a number, 0 or 0, depending on where you live, to 9, and A through M, and then the second page, N through Z or Z, depending on where you live. But the games I have, only one had been listed at Wikipedia. That has been rectified because I've added them. These two games, neither of them were listed at the Wikipedia site. I have added them. Okay, which one to start with? Well, this one, well, both games were published in the US. I have several UK releases already, but these both are US releases. This first one was released by Commodore themselves. This is release C64-648, and, well, I forgot to mention there are 3 different types of media that game software was released on. Cartridges, which that was the least popular with publishers because it was the most expensive. There were an estimated 250 or so games released in the US in cartridge form, and another 150 or so overseas. But the vast majority were either released on diskette or cassette tape. And over in the UK, the cassette tape was the dominant way of releasing budget titles. And I have some of those. Anyway, this first one, as I mentioned, published by Commodore on diskette. Its full title is Chess 7.5, How About a Game of Chess? and as you can plainly see is the follow-up to the game Chess 7.0 or 7.0, depending on where you live. Okay, this next game was published by a U.S. company that at one point was the largest supplier of software for the Commodore 64, and that is HES, or Human Engineered Software. They also published titles under the name HESware and HES Australia. This one was released under the name of HESware. The game is Minnesota Fats Pool Challenge. It was released in the UK under the title Hustler. I haven't seen that version, but I imagine that they took Minnesota Fats out. Rather simplistic graphics. Okay, you have 6 options here. 1 player, any ball, any pocket. 1 player, balls in order. 1 player, ball in its numbered pocket. 2 player, score the pockets. 2 player, mini pool, and 2 player, lowest and highest numbered ball. This game is endorsed by Minnesota Fats and licensed from Bubble Bus. And I believe I failed to mention that it is release C537. Okay. Until next time, stay awesome.